Vuka, Darkie, that's a topic for the day. And welcome back to Assertiveness, the show that gives ordinary South Africans a space to talk about things that really matter. And once again, we're saying, Darkie, kavuke. It's time for you to wake up and realize that there are opportunities. There are markets that are still open, especially for black-produced products. And more than anything, government is pushing for black-produced products. But before we get there, there's a question I had asked before we went for the ad break. I had asked, should we not attack the market strategically and skillfully, coming together as a collective and saying, this year, we focus on toothpaste, or maybe let's say on health or hygiene products. Next year, we'll target food. The other year, do you understand? So that instead of, as you said, working in little islands, that's what we've done. That divide and conquer is what's happening to Buy Black right now.
Well, I think the fundamental and important part is also even to politicize the things that we...
To politicize?
Yeah, to politicize the things that we produce. For instance, we can't be producing what other people are producing because we're working at a disadvantage from the point of view, because obviously they have years and years and years of experience of doing it. So you come in as a newbie in that field, in that space, you're more likely to come off second best, right? That's the first part. Now, in what all the things that we produce as Africans, they have to incorporate an African element so that it affords us the advantage, you know, to exactly that creative element that we so have. I mean, we're artistic, and also there's the science and all those type of things that come in there. But
give me an example of what would be anything that's got an African feel.
An African feel. I mean, obviously, you made mention of the product of Jagu's Bone. It is Jagu's Stone. It is that because now it also talks about an issue of identity. Yeah. Now you mentioned weaves and whatnot, but then it also addresses, and also there's Ntombe doors that we've covered. She creates black doors. Now that's also an issue with kids growing up and whatnot, and what they get to consume, and you know.
So we're fighting a lot of fights here, though. Because we are fighting an economic fight, we are fighting an identity fight, and then we're fighting the Ubuntu fight.
And these things incorporate and link to one another.
We need to create a product of sentimental value that will add value to the black community, not just products in G.
But do people have time for sentimental value products? Or do I really just want the products that are going to help me get through the day?
Having a product of sentimental value will make your brand to have a competitive edge.
No, I hear you, but my question is, your brand having a competitive edge, well done to you. But if the market is not consuming it...
More sales. A competitive edge means that you have more sales, more people coming to buying into your brand.
I can differ there, but I hear what you're saying. My issue is still the fact that we're trying to move to a Buy Black situation. Now, Buy Black cannot just be about African products. It has to be about, in general, there is an alternative. There's a need, and then there's an alternative to whatever the white people are producing. I mean, our issues here is that but you mentioned something very important. You said we can't just come out and produce something competing against the likes of Unilever. You know, it doesn't make any sense. But my question still stands, Uguti. You know, in us creating these African inspired things, is there a market for it?
So here's the thing. There is. I mean, you know, there's creative ways. I mean, there's people who've created a market for
selfie sticks.
Yeah, for selfie sticks. You know, I mean, depending on the marketing and others. But I think somewhat you also have to take care of the necessities and all those type of things. Now, to go back to an earlier point that I made about issues of identity, politics and economics, and how they feed to one another. Now, the reason why our economics are struggling is because they're not supported by these other two things. Now, we have issues with identity. Now, we have to go and somewhat comfort the deficit that we feel, the void that we have inside. We have to compensate it by taking or consuming from other nationalities, which, you know, makes us struggle economically, right? But obviously, moving forward, there was that question that you asked earlier on that we never really got to wrap up, right? The one where we were about the collectiveness. Isn't it important at this point to just collectively come together and just do these things right now? At that level, there's issues of education as well, right? Now, education is an important thing that ought to work to address these issues. We ought to move somewhat, have a common purpose, have similar thinking somewhat, right? Not be boxed and made machines to think in this particular way and whatnot, but we must have same agendas somewhat to say, now this is what we want to attain as a people, and those things will be informed by a common education, be it from the young to old people.
But outside Vuka, Darkie, what do you guys do? Do you have jobs? Do you work?
Well, I'm a postgrad student. I also work for. I also do push others well. Another company, Vunamanzi, which is water harvesting. So I'm also involved as well in urban farming. So obviously I have to be a producer. I must live what I preach. So.
And what else do you do?
Me, like I'm a marketing director of Vunamanzi.
When you know your titles, titles like he just says I'm pushing. When you are clear on what your role is in these companies. But the reason why I ask you guys is because I want you guys to get the picture of a black person's life. A black person's life, as we said, we got stuck in the colonized mentality. We studied, we got a job. Now you are in a job. Now that job gives you security. It gives you a salary every month. It gives you a sense of money. It gives you money in exchange for your time. But that time means you are there in an office from 9 to 5. Most of us, the majority of South Africans are in that position, right? Now, we have these conversations. It's not like we don't have these conversations. These conversations I had almost every day. When you do meet like-minded people that are on the same wavelengths. But in that security, in that little bubble that we're in, it is so difficult to just get out and start these things and get these things going. You know what I mean? Because you understand that? So how do we help South Africans who are finding that they fear letting go of their jobs to go out and become producers and become manufacturers? How do we help them? How do we give them the security to say, go out there. We need you to go out there.
I don't think you can guarantee that for someone else. I think it's also, I don't think it would be practical for them to expect it to be guaranteed by something else. I can't guarantee. I can't expect you to guarantee that if I go this route, perhaps I'm not. It's something that has to, I think, be
fostered via perhaps the education system, because even the education system trains us to think within the parameters of the employee model.
Yeah.
So we need to create us as African, create an African-centered university that will be geared towards fostering.
You want an entire university?
Of course.
Yeah, we are still fighting fees must fall just now. We're not about an entire university. I like the way the radical thinking.
Doctor. I mean, we also who's also going to be writing for us, Dr. Umar Johnson.
Okay.
He's a Pan-Africanist, a descendant of Frederick Douglass. So he's one of the people that we work with, and he's building a school from the ground up. So.
Wow.
So he's doing that. So obviously you see there's progress in
he's building the school via crowdfunding. So another thing, since as well we have that funding problem, crowdfunding is the way to go.
Crowdfunding is very, very dangerous, and I don't want you to get into it yet because that is actually a very, very dangerous thing. But more than anything, what I take from you guys, and I like quite a lot, is the radical thinking. As I'm sitting here and I'm thinking in my head, surely government should be reimbursing every young black person, and I'm going to be frank about it, who starts a company and actually runs a company that contributes to SARS. They should be giving you that security, to say, okay, no, every month is a Vuka 5,000 just to help you out with your basic needs. Because you started a business that's going to contribute to the economy. Obviously, you must submit papers and prove that your business is going to assist and it's going to, contribute to the economy.
Compliances.
Yes, all those compliances that they put for when you want funding, they should put to giving you money to, to reimburse you. But also another idea that I was thinking of is, you guys were talking about, starting these mass production of products that should be African. But shouldn't we do production of products that the government needs? For example, the government needs condoms. They have to, it's by law that they must produce a certain amount of condoms every single year. If we can get an African company to start producing condoms, then government is inclined to buy those condoms from that producer. It is unfortunate that we've actually run out of time, because I speak so much. I am so sorry. But guys, thank you so much for coming through. Your last words in terms of Vuka Darkie, what do you want us to know in like literally 2 sentences? In 2 sentences.
Like as Vuka Darkie, we aspire to inspire like everybody, the black community in particular, by utilizing like real success stories of African people who are milking it in order to inspire you. So you can simply go to our website, www.vukadarkie.com, and acquaint yourself with the magazine, and you're going to be surely inspired.
Awesome. Putemba, has the MD said it all?
No, the MD has covered a substantial part of it. So I think people can just engage with us. I mean, we are open people as well, so we are also open to people who would also, would need to profile as well. If there's a company or something, or someone is pushing something, or whatever it is, they may also get in contact with us.
How is Vuka Darkie funded? Sorry.
No, it's self-funded. In fact, we haven't even applied for public grants or from the whatnots, because we feel that we have to, fight it off. So we're starting from a zero. So we don't want to go to that begging mentality of depending, of saying this person or this organization or the government owes us this much, whatnot. We'll get to that part when we are moving. But what's important for us is optimizing
your current, what you have.
Exactly. And then obviously if we see that we have shortcomings there, which we do have, right? But first and foremost, it's self-help that we push.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for coming through, the Skosana brothers. We really appreciate your time. Should you say hello to your other brother, who's the other co-founder?
Wanda.
Sure, Wanda. Hello, Wanda.
Hola, Wanda, man. In Jablan, and Thomas Black.
Okay, but more than anything, guys, thank you very much for tuning in once again. As these gentlemen are saying, and as their lifestyle magazine name says, Vuka Darkie, it is time. And really, if you're not assertive, you really can't sit with us.